Criticizing your country doesn't make you unpatriotic, turning a blind eye to its faults does. I criticize the United States frequently because I care about it. I want my country to be a true world leader in freedom. It's not that currently, but it can be. Yet, whenever I bring this up I am told I'm unpatriotic. It's not that I hate the country, it's that I want better for it. I think that seeing faults in your country and not acknowledging them is more harmful than wanting flaws to be smoothed out. I think you're right. Turning a blind eye to your country's faults makes you ignorant, not a patriot. I don't believe this is an unpopular opinion among people. I completely agree. I love my country. I'm a history major, and I find American history so fascinating. However, I'll recognize my country is flawed and there's a lot we can do to change. Older family members will criticize me for talking about the us flaws, but we need to address them in order to fix them. I would argue that criticizing is hella patriotic, since you care enough to fight about it. Nothing I hate more than false patriotism and blind nationalism. Hell yeah. I think you can hate some politicians, the president, and all that they do because in the end we want a great fucking country. Patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president or any other public official. Theodore Roosevelt. Only if it's constructive criticism. A huge problem though is the preface or final point is too often now call all opposition to the criticism Nazi, racist, murderers, white supremacists, baby killers, misogynist, transphobic, rapists, etc. Basically dehumanize anyone who disagrees with you, meaning nobody is going to listen seriously cause there won't be rational discussion. Edit, most you in the various reply branches to this, you're the idiots I'm talking about, you're insulting any ideas you disagree with instead of laying out criticism, you're downvoting people wanting specifics which are the people that should be upvoting for wanting actual discussion. It's the dehumanizing clusterfuck I'm talking about. One of you even basically just rattled off over half my list to say America bad. Loving your country has been transformed into loving your government and blindly trusting and believing everything they do is just and correct. America is great, but our national government is abysmal and deserves all the criticism it receives. I criticize the US frequently, but I've drawn a line in my own brain. I'm criticizing the idiots who make America suck, not the country itself. America isn't our current leaders or politicians, America is a safe haven for freedom, a set of ideals based off of liberty. That's the way I see it at least. We must always remember the ideas that make this country great, and criticize those who stray from them. It's sad that there are still so many who don't seem to want to try understand. Patriotism is being proud of your country for what does. Nationalism is being proud of your country no matter what it does. In America, I feel nationalism is more prevalent than ever, and our patriotism is toxic. We're not number one. I wish for our society would work on the common good and the benefit of all humans, rather than the greedy corporate lobbyist war machine we are now. We don't need to police the world. We can't help solve the world problems if we can't fix our here. I love America but she's dying. We are becoming more and more like opposite of what should be. Where I'm from, if you don't love the ruling party, or you criticize the ruling party, you are unpatriotic, and as a result, should leave your country. Criticizing the ruling party and its policies has been enough to land many in jail and lead to the assassination of many more. Nope. The only way to be patriotic is to try to fix the problems of your country. Pretending a problem doesn't exist, any problem, makes one a fool. There's also a difference between legitimate criticism and constantly holding it over everyone's head as why a country is terrible and or shouldn't exist. You're right. Still I think that it is only justified when the flaws are objective. My country has had a self-hate kind of education and now we don't have a patriotic sense. The majority of the population hates the country they live in and say things like, _ is a horrible country, _ citizens are stupid, etc. That's as bad as avoiding all the flaws a country may have. Patriotism is supporting your country all the time, and your government when it deserves it. Mark Twain. Unpopular opinion: being a patriot is absurd, you just happen to be born inside a contrived boundary defined by invisible lines. If you're in America, that land was brutally stolen from the indigenous people who were already here. Should you want your country to be the best it can be? Yes. Should you be flamboyant and chauvinist about your country, as is actively encouraged in the USA? LMFAO fuck no, I agree, but I also get very annoyed at people who unironically think America is just like a third world country. There's criticism, then there's incessant bitching. People probably notice you're doing the latter. How is this unpopular? It's because no one ever teaches people that there's more than one kind of patriotism. There's blind patriotism that promotes uncritical support for one's nation, and then there's constructive patriotism that works to promote the common good of the nation while acknowledging its flaws. I live in the South. A lot of the people around me say that America is the best nation in the world. If I disagree for any reason, I get attacked. I've been called commie, Nazi, terrorist, scum, and I've even had the N-word thrown at me a few times. I personally think if you love your nation, you will see the flaws that make it imperfect. Once those flaws are seen, you can establish ways to solve them. Turning away from a problem makes it snowball. What's funny is the people who are patriotic will always protest something that they think infringes their rights. A state of blissful ignorance, I guess. It's odd that Americans have to make a point on that. In Latin American, we love our countries but never get tired of criticizing. I've realized there are different types of patriotism. In LATAM we are proud of our cultural heritage, nature, etc., but it's common to hear things like, in third country, is pure cows, here we know how to make everything worse, etc. In the USA they're proud, or it seems like, for their constitution, their founders, etc. Here we even criticize Bolivar and our founding fathers. But when we travel abroad, don't even dare to talk badly of our countries, haha. I believe it has to do with the fact we weren't raised, with all reason, that we were born the greatest nation on earth, which BTW I believe is such a bad thing to be brought up believing. Americans shouldn't be taught that they live in the best country on earth, but that they're lucky to live in a better than average place, and should keep on working to make it better, understanding that they have done some messed up things.